Got it. Okay, welcome, Libby. We're really excited to be able to invite you to our Southern Oregon Safety and Health Conference coming up in October. On that Thursday, you're going to share with us a keynote and kick us off on that last day of our conference. That's going to be really awesome. We're really looking forward to that. I want to just ask you a question or two and just see, kind of summarize your background and experiences in leadership and how you think that it can help us be safer on the job.
Sure. Well, I started out as an assistant at a television company, and I got a job in the PR department. I have a degree in theater, so I wasn't really suited for the corporate world, but nonetheless, I got a job at a pretty prestigious company that was very quickly bought by Columbia Pictures and then by Coca-Cola and then by Sony. So it was all these changes very quickly, which we have to get used to in the world. Nothing is slowing down in terms of change. Everything is speeding up. But I was on that fast track from early on in my career. And in 5 years, I became the head of the department, head of communications and public relations from that little company that by then was part of Sony. And it was the worldwide television group for Sony Pictures Entertainment. Then I went on to Turner Broadcasting. And then from there to Universal Studios, where, again, I ran the communications and corporate communications for the television group. And really what I learned is that you've got to be very flexible. You've got to look for opportunities. You've got to always be ready to change at a moment's notice. And I think we saw that during the pandemic. Certainly all of you were on the front lines. But it's that combination of being sort of a rock for others and being so nimble that you can turn on a dime when you need to.
Yeah, that's very true. And all of those skills are still so important for us, especially in the safety field, and supervisors and managers are all challenged with that, even safety committee members. So I've actually bought a couple copies of your book. I've read most of it. I think I keep loaning them out to people, so I just ordered a couple more. But tell us a little bit more about what a hope-driven leader is and how important this attribute of leadership is in our day. And that's the title of your book, is The Hope-Driven Leader.
Mm-hmm. Sure, I'd love to. And I'll talk a little bit more about this at your conference. It's coming up in the fall. But to me, hope was always a very important thing. It was about believing that you could get through difficult things, that if you thought it through and you saw a better vision of the future, you could get there. I grew up, like a lot of people, in a pretty challenging household. I had a mentally ill parent. I had an alcoholic parent. And I was often left to my own devices to sort of figure things out. So it became really important to build some resiliency and some self-confidence and resourcefulness to sort of get through the day. And so after my first career in the corporate world, which I really enjoyed, working in television is a little crazy, like you can imagine. It can be very creative, and it can also be very corporate and just business as usual. But what really spoke to me was helping people develop their careers and their teams and really become leaders. And obviously being a leader is not something we're born with. That has long since been debunked. It's something you can learn. So being a hope-driven leader, as I moved on and became an executive coach and started writing and speaking to groups, I stumbled. I had the good fortune, as I was studying positive psychology and neuroscience and those sorts of things as they applied to the workplace, to discover the science of hopefulness, which is called hope theory. And it stems from both the medical community as well as positive psychology, really pioneered by two people in those fields. And it just, the basic tenet is that it's a fundamental belief that change is possible, which, you might think, well, don't we all believe that? But of course, if you look around your world, you realize, no, we don't all believe that. There are some people that are just stuck in the status quo, the defenders of the it is what it is, or that's the way we've always done it kind of mentality. But hope theory has us look at the future. And when it started in medicine, it was looking at your own treatment protocol and knowing that if you participated fully, you would have a better outcome. So it's a reliance on yourself and your own agency to get to a better future. And as I worked with different organizations, and I always work in people in performance, I am not a safety expert. You all are the experts in that. but leadership and performance and people and motivating and driving that kind of performance are pretty universal. So it was this idea of really envisioning a better future and then putting language around that so people were inspired to follow. And that's sort of the basic tenets of hope theory.
Yeah, that's awesome. You know, Mike and we're safety professionals, and we see that the safety professionals that study leadership and work on their leadership skills really do seem to have some success. And so that's why we're seeing a lot of leadership focus on leadership in safety right now. And I think it's a good direction. So we're really super excited about having you join us at our conference, and I think it's going to be an awesome conference, and we can't welcome you enough, and I hope everybody out there that's watching this will take an opportunity to look at our lineup for this conference and join us as well. So thank you.
My pleasure.